Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. Thank you for joining us. Let's do some quick destination check. If you're looking for the most awesome session of the day at this event, well, you're at the right place. We have an interesting subject for this fireside chat and a very distinguished guest, which I will introduce very soon. We're going to be talking about AI ops, AI operations, specifically in telecom networks. In terms of background, I am Prakash Sangam, founder and principal at Tantra Analyst. We are a boutique tech industry analyst and advisory firm covering 5G, AI, IoT, and other tech areas. I personally have more than 20 years of experience working for AT&T, Ericsson, and Qualcomm in that order before I started my own industry analyst business, Tantra Analyst, about 7 years ago. I'm also a 3GPP and Etsy member. I write for Forbes, USA Today, RCR Wireless News, and few other publications. Enough about me. It's my pleasure to introduce Mahalingam Venkat Ramanan, who is SVP of Operations at the global telecom conglomerate Orange. He's a veteran of Orange. He spent close to 20 years there. Ramanan, welcome to the event.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you.
Okay, so before we get started, gather your questions. We'll take audience questions as well. I would like to quickly highlight that we actually published a report between Tantra Analyst and RCR on AI ops, which can be downloaded free both from Tantra Analyst website as well as RCR's website. I highly recommend you to check it out. So let's get on with this session. Ramanan, as I mentioned, you spent quite a lot of time at Orange. Quickly give a background on yourself and what your current roles and responsibilities are.
Okay, thank you for that, Prakash. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Maybe before I introduce myself, a few words about Orange. Orange is a group, it's a major telecom operator. We are licensed operator in 26 countries, predominantly in Europe, Africa, Middle East. Orange has an enterprise division, which is called Orange Business, and also a wholesale division, which is called Orange Wholesale. I'm responsible for Orange International Network, which is a kind of a backbone network and shared platform operations, supporting both enterprise business and also the wholesale business.
Perfect. So let's get on with the subject right away. Don't have a lot of time. So AI, what are some of the use cases that you're currently using AI for at Orange?
There are many interesting use cases we have been working on. We'll start first with the noise reduction. So in our network, it's a very expansive network with many devices across the network, throwing thousands and thousands of alarms. Not all the alarms are treatable and humanly possible. So what we try to do is to use AI to filter the highly impacting alarms or the impacting alarms. And that's what we call as a noise reduction. So that's one use case we are deploying. The second one is more on the correlation. Correlation. So whenever, especially on the telco environment, where softwareization is a buzzword today, right? So more and more hardware devices are getting softwareized. In that kind of scenario, we are trying to see how do we correlate the alarms coming from different domains. It could be on the infra domain where submarine cables, transmission system, optical fibers. Then over that we have the IP network. That could be IP alarms coming in. Then we have a telco cloud where the cloud infra is sitting on, and then over that we have the services, right? So web service platforms, so they are also throwing in many alarms. So now with this multiple alarms coming in, we are trying to see how with the help of AI, we have a use case which is correlating all the alarms and then pinpointing where the root cause is. Now this is really helping us. A third use case is also once you know where the problem is, then moving towards kind of a self-healing. Based on the alarm, some certain alarms have certain types of treatments. So how do we trigger those standard operating procedures to get into kind of a self-healing? That's another use case we have been working on.
Very nice.
Very exciting journey so far.
Yeah, very nice. So Gen AI is the latest buzzword. So I have to ask you this question. are you using LLMs and Gen AI as well in your use cases?
Very much, very much. We
Mm-hmm.
have our own internal platform also, GenAI-based platforms for our internal consumption for every staff. Apart
Mm-hmm.
from that, we have also deployed many GenAI use cases in our operational environment. I can just give
Yeah.
you an example. Could be as simple as when there is a major incident happening, in a ticket we'll have multiple entries. Now, a lot of troubleshoot must have happened. There are many people who must have involved in the troubleshooting, and then there will be many comments. But for a
Mm-hmm.
customer, he would like to have a statement saying what has gone wrong, what actions have been taken, what are the improvement actions, etc., etc. So to generate from a ticket, it takes longer time. Now somebody has to go through all the updates in the case and then to generate it. So GenAI is really helping us in developing a kind of a customer-facing statement, then preparing some kind of root cause analysis report, also official root cause analysis report. There also
Mm-hmm.
we are using GenAI. And so in regular meetings, we also have minutes of meetings. Now when we have a team meeting at every level, so we
Yeah.
have the GenAI applications running there to prepare minutes of your meeting with the clear action plan, action owner, deadline, etc., etc. So I think there are many interesting use cases which we have been deploying.
And most of these are still at proof of concept trial, or are they in production kind of implementation?
It's on different stages, Prakash. So some of
Mm-hmm.
them are in production, some of them are still in the proof of concept stage, especially when I talk about the self-healing. We are ready to
Yeah.
go there. And also another, my endeavor is also to move our operations from proactive monitoring into preventive monitoring.
Yeah.
Uh, Today we are very good in proactive monitoring. We're able to pick up all the alarms which are generated by our systems. We are able to react to that. But
Yeah.
sometimes we don't treat all the alarms. We treat major alarms and critical alarms. There are
Correct.
minor alarms which could
Yeah.
become a major alarm if you don't treat them. So that's where
Correct.
the AI
In
is
time.
also
Yeah.
used to see how do we predict something is going to go wrong and
Yeah.
then to prevent. So this is
Yeah.
again in a proof of concept stage.
Okay. Very well. So, and most of your implementation, are they in a closed loop, fully automated, or you always have a human in the middle in terms of when you're
So
implementing?
some of them are automated, not all of
Mm-hmm.
them. So some of them, especially if I take an example of use cases like transporting configuration from one device to other device.
Yeah.
So it's very risky to keep it at this point of time. We are still to develop the trust.
Yeah.
So at this point of time, there are manual interventions. When you from Cisco to Juniper, when they change the platform, the conversion of configuration happens, but manually somebody validates it before it is copied and pasted in another device. So some of them are automated. So it's a mix as we speak.
Okay. Okay. And obviously, as you mentioned, AI kind of the reason, maybe you can tell me that as well. What is the main objective of using AI? Is it increased productivity, lower costs, improved user experience, anything else? Probably all of them, or do you have
I
a
think all of them.
priority?
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's all of them. Because when you try to go up the value chain, when you
Mm-hmm.
are introducing new products and new services, and so we need people to move from the legacy platform operations into the next level, right? So
Yeah.
from that perspective, it's really helping to increase our productivity.
Mm-hmm.
People, our engineers spend more time on critical incidents and critical complex incidents rather than incidents which could be automated, right?
Okay.
So I think that's where, from that perspective, this productivity is really helping. Even for employee experience perspective, sometimes it is really boring, or sometimes even humongous task for an engineer to go through the ticket of which has been running for 2 days or one day, and
Yeah.
then derive a kind of a report out of it. So that's where this automation is really helping him to become more. At least he's doing much better than in terms of employee experience. Also, it's helping. Plus,
Correct.
also for customer experience. When something is automated, it results into quicker resolution of a problem, turnaround time to the customer, etc., etc. So again, from customer experience perspective, also it is helping us really well. Oh, and above all, it's also reducing our cost. In terms of many manual work which can be automated, and it's
Mm-hmm.
really going to help us in terms of reducing our operating cost as well. So
Okay.
it's all.
Yeah, it's an important point, right? A lot of mundane task employees in the field bored about doing it, they can automate it. So that's an important aspect, not just customer, but external customer, but internal customer satisfaction as well. So are you able to quantify these benefits in terms of number of man hours saved, for example, or in any other format,
Absolutely,
more
absolutely. I mean, that's
tangible?
one of the key deliverable or key driver for us also to go into those use cases. Now, but
Hmm.
before we put any use cases, first and foremost, we do a business case.
Okay.
Okay, and when you do a business case, you evaluate from return of experience, you evaluate from in terms of time saved, in terms of money saved, in terms of customer experience, etc. We put all those factors together and then to see whether the business case is like because it's an investment also, right?
Yeah, of
When you're
course. Yeah.
implementing a use case, it's an investment. So we try to see whether the investment translate to the benefits what we anticipate to do a business case. So we do that. We can't really quantify and then to take a call whether to go for it or go for something else. So
Okay.
yeah.
Anything that you can share, like tangibly, is it 10% improvement productivity or 50% reduction cost or whatever, or anything that you can share or
At this
yeah.
stage, Prakash, I think I would be very conservative. Maybe we have seen 10% reduction in our noise, overall noise reduction. We have seen when you did the POC, we have seen
Uh-huh.
phenomenal increase. Huh? We saw
Okay.
about 70% of alarms getting correlated and reduced, which is
Okay.
significant in the POC arena, right? But
Okay.
when you
Yeah.
put it into
Good.
production, so we don't see that much. But then, yeah, it is definitely significant. But I think over the period you realize it. So
Okay.
I'm a very upbeat. I'm very optimistic. I think in terms of at least I'm looking at 20 to 30% efficiency improvement.
Okay. Okay. Very well. That's still quite
Significant, huh? Yeah,
impressive.
so
Yeah.
it's significant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And in terms of using especially Gen AI, hallucinations has been a major challenge for many enterprises that I talk to. What's been your experience in terms of feeling it, and then what are you doing to reduce it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's a yeah, man, sometimes it may not be avoidable. So yeah, I think we have to ensure that the data structure what we use is correct, and also the training module which you use is well validated. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
hallucinations will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Initial stages sometimes could be discouraging as well. But I
Okay.
think that's where we need to be very strong and focus, and then to see how do we make it more positive, turn that into very real, accurate, rather than sometimes I think it takes a lot of efforts. I agree with you. Like this I don't think it's avoidable, but I think more and more you get involved, more and more your data gets structured. I think
Optimize. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it gets
Okay.
better and better.
Okay. So in terms of AI models, how does that work? Do you use off-the-shelf models, or you have your own, and whether you develop your own or you have third parties doing it for you?
It's a mix of both. Prakash, some of the use cases, yeah. We also have our own internal development team, which does
Okay.
a lot of good work. At
Okay.
the same time, certain products which are when we hear about it and then we see some of them are much more be useful and we can go faster. So we take
Mm-hmm.
that decision as well. So it's a kind of a make or buy the decision. So each use case we do a kind of a validation, and then based on the validation discussions and on the inputs what we have, and we take the call. So it's a mix and match. Some of them are ingrown, some of
Okay.
them we buy off the shelf.
And do you does your enterprise customers, they have their own models, you implement them as well, integrate them into your services, or?
Yes, that also some of them are API consumable. So some of them we also have interfaces connecting some customers, and also we provide some facility, some solutions to our customers as well. Some of them would like to replicate what we have been doing on our side. So
Okay.
it works in that way as well.
Yeah,
So
it's like
yeah,
yes, offer AI as a service,
yeah,
not just for
yeah.
your internal operation. Oh, okay. It's
And we are
interesting.
also network provider. So sometimes we also host some of our customers LLM, and sometimes they want. So I know we also call that AI for the network. So it's not only for AI for operation. So network for AI. We also building our network which is
Okay.
scalable, which can help our customers also to use our network for their hosting
Yeah, yeah.
their training machines and etc. etc. So
Okay.
towards the code
Interesting.
base.
And in terms of hosting these models and using the data, there's a lot of questions on privacy, security, confidentiality of enterprises because it's a lot of trade secrets there. How are you doing it? Is it done on the cloud, mostly on the prem, or how is that dealt with?
Our solutions are mostly on-prem, so we don't go for a cloud-based solution. So because of the
Mhm.
confidentiality and also because of Orange is also a service provider for many of our government agencies and the banks, and there are
Yeah.
some enterprise customers, most of the enterprise customers. So whatever we are deployed, it's all on-premise
Okay.
solutions.
Okay.
And also it goes through a lot of security clearance. And even our security um, criterias or the checklists are pretty stringent. Now we
Okay.
don't allow anything to get out. So there are it goes through the screening process with our security team only. Then we deploy. So it's mostly on-prem,
Okay.
fully secured environment.
And the data you use for training, is it your own data or you just use synthetic data? How is that?
It's purely our own data. We
Okay.
inject our own data. Even during the POC time, also we injected our own data. It's not synthetic
Okay.
data. We
Yeah.
use our own and then do this.
And as I mentioned, I mean, Vodafone is quite diverse company, right? I'm sure there's a lot of legacy systems as well that you have to somehow include in the AI operations.
That's where the
So
challenges are.
what are some of the challenges, especially, I mean, as I mentioned, the data acquisition and the curation is one of the major challenges of AI for network operators. And then being Vodafone sorry,
Current.
Orange that big, there are a lot of unique challenges as well. So what are some of the challenges that you're faced or facing right now in terms of
Absolutely,
AI
absolutely. I
ops?
mean, even in terms of since we carry it's a legacy company, we still
Yeah,
carry a lot of legacy systems and applications. They are still serving the purpose. No, it's not
yeah,
that we cannot ignore them. So now most of them are still serving the purpose. So
yeah,
we are also there are systems which are very very modern. Very modular architecture, etc. etc. So it's a we have both. So that's where the complexity is also in terms of our implementations to just ensure the inventory databases, the systems, the alarms which we collect
yeah,
are structured. So that the data structuring data is one of the key challenge which we try to address to. So
yeah,
we have our own data lake. We are also trying to standardize um, using AI again to get the feed from different data systems and then to standardize them and then to use them for training. So yes, that's a key challenge for especially for organization like us, where you have um, big legacy behind.
yeah. And how is this move toward cloud native architecture and a lot of development of edge cloud helping you? I think that should, you know, further utilize and increase the utilization of AI, right? And further
Yes,
encourage it,
yes,
I'm assuming.
exactly. I mean, I think even the AI plays a very important role or crucial role now, especially when you are managing telco cloud in the cloud infrastructure. And so I was mentioning earlier, correlation of different alarms coming from different systems. It's not easy, especially when you're in a virtualized environment.
Yeah,
It is difficult to pinpoint where the problem is coming from, whether
correct.
it's
Yeah.
coming from the underlay layer or it is on the IP layer, it is coming on the service platform or on the virtualized infrastructure. So that's where the AI is really, really making a good benefit.
Yeah.
I am hoping that it's going to really, really help us now in
Yeah.
accelerating.
So, I mean, talking about data, using AI to get and format the data in the right way, I think that itself is an interesting use case.
Right.
Okay, so we're almost coming to an end. Uh, so, if we are to meet on forum like this in say next 3 to 5 years, where do you think AI ops will be, especially for telecom networks,
I think it's going
and
to be
in
very, very
specifically in
promising.
Orange, if you can share,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you ask me, Prakash, it's going to be very, very promising because I
Yeah.
was in ITW 2 weeks back
Uh-huh.
in US, and you'll not believe me, almost all the carriers we met. Now it's a
Mhm.
telecom week, right? It's International
Yeah.
Telecom Week where we meet all the carriers together
Yeah.
at the executive level, and almost all the carriers have some roadmap on AI. So
Yeah,
everybody's
of course.
talking about AI, Gen AI,
Yeah.
adaptations, AI for operations, etc., etc. So that
Yeah.
gives us a lot of hope and And positivity is in the sense, okay, I see another 2 to 3 years down the line. I don't think we will operate the network the way we are operating today. It will be
Okay.
completely different.
All right. Yeah,
That's my opinion.
that's an interesting and nice way of ending the discussion. Thank you very much for all of your insight. And thanks to all the audience for asking interesting questions as well. Sorry we could not take all of them. So again, thank you again and hope to see you again on one of these forums.
Thank you, Prakash. Nice talking to you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.